episode of Spare Time. I'm your host, Carlos, and this show is brought to you by Umpqua Survival, the absolute best place to pick up all your shooting accessories, firearms, outdoor supplies, and whatever else you can think of. We have lots of random stuff. My guest today is Realtor, handyman, and animal lover, Aaron Daniel. How's it going, man?
It's going great.
And as usual, my buddy Mike is joining us. What's up?
Hello. I'm here again.
Right on. So Aaron, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
For the folks that don't know who you are, give us a little bit of intro.
Well, I'm a real estate agent with Lamonte Real Estate Professionals here in Roseburg. And I like to think of myself as a go above and beyond kind of realtor. Crawl under houses. I don't like selling a house unless I've seen under it. Got 3 kids. Live in a forest just outside of town. And life is peachy.
Forest right outside of town describes everywhere outside of town.
Yeah. There you go. That's perfect.
Well, I suppose you could live in a field outside of town.
Yeah.
But yeah, right on. Right on. What have you been up to, Mike?
Work, as usual.
Yeah. Nothing big going on?
Just relaxing for the holidays. A couple days anyways.
You said it was a little hectic because you had so many people on vacation?
Oh, yeah. With the holiday, I guess, falling in the middle of the week, work week. You come to work for 2 days, take a day off, and then come back for 2 days.
And anyone that's got a couple of vacation
PTO
days
time, like, no, I'm not coming back.
Exactly.
We made it through.
How about you, Aaron? Do you have good holidays?
Yeah, it's good. I didn't sell a house on Christmas, darn it.
Is that normal?
Well, I do have a list of holidays, and I'm scratching them off here. I've got Easter scratched off.
Nice.
Are there title companies open on Christmas?
No, you can sell a house, but not actually close it. You know,
gotcha.
The process takes a long time, but when you find the right one and get your offer accepted, that can happen on any day of the week.
But that one's on your bingo ticket, huh?
Yeah.
Right on.
Good.
That'd be fun, actually.
Yeah.
Come up with some different little things that you'd like to accomplish. Like that. That's a good idea. Good idea. So, you're an organ transplant, right?
Yeah.
From Bay Area?
Alameda was where I was born and raised, and I lived in more cities than I have fingers down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up down there? What were you like?
I was a punk.
Yeah?
Yeah. A no good kid. Always into trouble.
Yeah. Sounds familiar.
Come home with blood dripping or something.
Yeah?
Or a neighbor kid chasing me or in the back of a cop car a couple times.
I can't picture you like that. You don't seem like that to me, but
yeah,
I guess people grow up.
I have grown up.
That's the whole idea.
So why'd you get in trouble? What were you into?
Skipping class, climbing on the roofs of buildings. There was a while there I didn't get caught doing it, but we were, finding our way to get 40s and drinking 40s up on the roofs of buildings and stuff, and it was kind of fun.
Typical
kind of a fun time.
Teenage boy stuff, right?
Yeah, I know. We went through that phase.
Oh, no, never.
Yeah. That'd be, I don't know. Alameda, I know Alameda area is huge now. It's like a giant city. What was it like when you were a kid?
It was a lot like Roseburg is today.
Yeah.
Everybody knew everybody.
Way smaller.
It had a small town feel.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet. It's crazy how places grow like that. And, like Roseburg's been growing, obviously, since I was little, but, I don't know. I guess now the only way it can grow is if it grows up.
Out. Up and out, yeah.
Because
they keep pushing the city limits out.
Yeah. But now they're pushing for apartments and that kind of stuff, so be interesting to see what the next 10 years brings or whatever.
There's a lot more hills here.
Yeah.
Alameda is really flat. And it's a lot different here.
Yeah. What were some of your things that you enjoyed growing up?
Hopping on my bicycle.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed playing golf. I would strap my push cart onto the back of my bicycle like it's a trailer, ride to the course, and the municipal course, they had $1 rounds for kids.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So I played all the time.
That's pretty cool.
Were you hustling people?
No.
Did you meet anybody cool while you're down there?
Not that memorable.
No. Gotcha. You were telling me earlier that you were a fat kid?
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I was a fat kid too.
No way.
I was a fat kid until I joined the Army, and then I got unfat for a short period of time, and then I brought it back.
Bringing it back.
But you said bicycles are what got you into better shape, and
yeah, it changed the course of my life basically.
Yeah.
You know, I was looking at my family and seeing some of the issues they were dealing with. Not really wanting to go that road. So I chose a different route.
Yeah. Well, it seems like it's working out.
Yeah.
It's good. And bicycles became a pretty big part of your life for a while, or what?
Quite a long time. Yeah. Started working in the bike shop. My first job was across the park from Grandma's house and at the little bike shop, neighborhood shop. Cycle City. Maybe it was Cycle Sports at the time. But yeah, I was just in the back building bicycles out of boxes, and then I graduated to doing repairs and selling bikes on the floor. And let's see, the last bike shop that I worked at was Performance Bikes in Walnut Creek, where I was the operations manager and the top salesman. So,
how old were you when you started?
15 and a half, as soon as I could.
That's awesome.
Haven't stopped working since.
Is there one bike that was like the holy grail when you were into that stuff?
Cross track. A cross track bike. Yeah, that was the coolest bike.
Yeah?
Yeah, it had like air suspension and really, really lightweight. The manager at the shop had one. And
that's what you were aspiring to have?
Yeah. And he lent it out to one of his good friends who, you know, proceeded to pull it out of his car and put the wheels on, and what did he forget? To hook up the brakes.
No.
Oh, no.
Jeez. Had a wild ride, huh?
He broke a couple of bones and broke the bike.
Damn.
And you probably cried more than your boss.
No. No, when I cried, it was because of a drivetrain system called the Zeus drivetrain system. It was on a tandem bicycle, and it's really cool. Most tandems, if one person is pedaling, the other has to be pedaling. You're pedaling in tandem.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Zeus system had an extra couple of freewheels in there built in, so the person in the front could be pedaling forwards. Person in back could be not pedaling at all, or even pedaling backwards. And all of the power still got to the rear wheel. And it just didn't matter what one was doing.
Right.
You know, whoever was pushing
That's kind of cool, actually.
It is, and it was really cool. I was checking it out so close, and then all of a sudden, it took a good chunk of my index finger right off.
Oh, man.
Got a little too close, huh?
Oh, boy. That hurt so bad.
Nice.
It grew back.
I've never got to ride a tandem bike.
I tried once.
I would think I would need both people pedaling.
Yeah.
It's kind of like being on the back of a motorcycle.
Yeah.
You just kind of got to go with the flow, at least if you're in the back.
Yeah.
And if you're in the front, it's just like you have a really heavy load on you or something.
Do you still ride bikes now?
Yeah, when I can.
Not as much as you'd like to?
Not as much and not as far.
Okay.
Love to have about 10 hours on a good day just to go ride and not have a worry in the world, but I'm a realtor, so then my phone will ring about 20 minutes into it.
Oh, jeez.
Our buddy Shane, you've met him before. He was really into riding for a while. When he was living over in Bend, Redmond area, he had a couple buddies over there, and they were doing, they'd go on like 35-mile rides and camp out, and they were doing all sorts of stuff. Then he did a little bit of it here. I think he still does once in a while, but I think he spends more time on his motorcycles than he does riding his bicycle. I did lots of BMX riding, and my first bike was a Huffy.
Just running
with
around.
A banana seat.
Yeah.
So, I never had any cool bikes. I think we had a Mongoose once, so that was pretty cool to me. But, my bike riding days were kind of done before mountain bikes and stuff really became mainstream. They were out, but they were expensive as hell for a kid.
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
I know firsthand.
Yeah. I mean, you could pick up 10 speeds all over the place.
Yeah.
But, it definitely wasn't like it is now. I mean, every single bike is they've all got a million gears and freaking, now there's giant tires, and the e-bikes are
e-bikes, yeah.
Now.
I see them.
There's even Bluetooth shifters.
No shit.
Bicycles with no cables, except for the brakes.
I'll be damned.
Brakes that have cables, but on the shifters,
freaking
there's
technology, man. It's crazy. When we went to DC, like everywhere you look, there's bicycle, like e-bikes and freaking scooters everywhere, and they're just sitting there on the side of the road. And apparently, there's an app you download on your phone, and you just scan the bike, and it freaking turns it on, and you just run it until you're done, and then you just leave it there and tell the app you're done with it, and it turns it off or whatever, and charges you money. And I was like, Jesus, what a racket, dude! How's this stuff not end up at somebody's garage? But
GPS.
Yeah, apparently. But yeah, that was the way. I didn't try them out. Well, I wish I would have, because walking around DC is. If you've never been there, it's not like here where you walk a block and you're somewhere else. Every single place, at least downtown where everybody wants to go, where all the monuments are and all that stuff, it's like one block there is like, or one block here is like, I don't know, there are like 4 or 5 blocks there. I mean, and it's every monument has 15 acres of grass around it. So you're like, I mean, you can see where you want to go, but you're like, Jesus, this is going to take half an hour,
Right.
So it was a lot of walking, and I was not confident in my coordination to try a scooter or something, so I didn't try it. But in hindsight, I wish I would have, because it would have saved me a lot.
Maybe you'll go again.
Someday, yeah. There's still, we barely got to check anything out. There's so much there to see. So much history. It's crazy. You go to the other side of the country and you realize how young our side of the country is.
Yeah.
Every building over there is like hundreds of years old. Every building here is like
maybe
50 years old.
maybe 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you find an old farmhouse or an old homestead, It's just crazy.
I remember going through Independence Hall, and I was 9 years old when I was there, and there was a little red, like a ribbon around the Liberty Bell, but it didn't stop me from putting my index finger right in the crack.
Yeah. You had to
And then the guy who was talking about the bell and all that, he gave me a dirty look.
do not touch.
Oh, boy.
You've got a bad habit of putting your fingers where they don't belong.
I haven't washed it since.
Nice. So, you said your first job was working in bike shops?
Yep.
And you did that for how long did you do that?
Let's see. I started working in shops when I was 15 and a half, and I think I was 23 when I stopped working in bicycle shops and embarked on my process service life. And it was definitely a change and gave me a lot of good experience.
Yeah. And so I think you had told me that along with process serving, you did a little bit of collections too, right?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Someone else was talking.
I had a lot of collection companies that were my clients.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Okay.
Serving the small claims.
Yeah.
Serving their papers.
Did you have some pretty crazy stuff go on doing that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, tell me some stories, man.
One time there was this bunch of kids that were, I guess, a witness to something in the school, and I had to serve 28 or 29. I can't remember the exact figure, but it was like 28 or 29 kids that were,
Holy shit.
all under 13, which is a magic number in the service world. And so you just have to serve their parents. It's better if you serve them in front or serve their parents with them there, but they don't really have to be there. And there were a couple of them that were 14, so the rules changed, and it was all in a really not so great part of Oakland, California. Very different from Oakland, Oregon.
Last time I was in Oakland, California, I didn't really notice any good parts.
The stadium.
The Oakland Zoo is really nice.
Yeah.
So were those kids like trying to not get served, or what was going on?
No, nobody was trying to evade me that time. It was just
The environment.
I think it was that the attorneys wanted the kids there, and it was hard to catch, a kid and a parent home at the same time.
Sure.
Did you have any times when you felt, in danger or anything like that trying to serve people?
Yeah. One time in particular, there was a blue-nosed pit, and I'm really glad that I had a metal clipboard. That was my shield.
Yeah.
And I needed it that day. And I'm really glad that he had a fenced front yard, because I was able to back to the gate and out the gate. And I've always been a dog person, so I kind of knew how to handle the situation, not freak out or anything, and also not turn my back on him.
Yeah.
Because that dog knew that word attack or something. They gave him a command, and he trained him.
One thing I noticed, for a long time I sold security systems, and I spent a lot of time down in California, especially the Bay Area. And one thing I noticed down there that's so different than it is here is a lot of houses had, just like the gate to get into their yard was locked, for one thing. And then once you got through that, they all had those security screens on their houses, and those were locked. Like, for me to get to an appointment, usually I had to, get there. Usually you can't park anywhere near where it's at, so you had to walk forever to get to their house. And then I'd have to try and get a hold of them on the phone to let me in, because they didn't know I was standing outside their gate.
Yeah.
It was crazy to me, and they had all these extra layers of security, and I'm there trying to sell a security
More
system.
security, yeah.
But honestly, it was easy to do. I mean, pretty much everybody wanted it. So I guess it's just a difference of, what you're worried about, where you live, that kind of thing. But yeah, you probably had to deal with the same thing with, and you're trying to deal with people that don't want to talk to you. So
Yeah, and there are so many apartment buildings down there. That's a majority of where people were living that I had to serve.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a lot of waiting for someone else to drive in, waiting for someone else to open the door. And
so you could sneak in?
Well, sometimes. A lot of the time I had a badge and papers and, pretty legit looking, and I knew the talk and walked the walk. So I just tell them why I'm there and hope that they weren't them.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'll go get him. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Usually they let me in.
That's good. And you did that for how long did you do that?
11 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that must have been something you actually kind of enjoyed doing.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
Was it good money?
It was all right. Yeah.
How'd you get paid? Was it hourly, or did they pay you just like by the service, or?
Well, I worked in the office. I was an office guy. I actually graduated college with an AA in business software.
Oh, gotcha.
So I can type, 50, 60 words a minute, not looking at the keyboard. And there's a lot of data input.
I'm sure.
That's where I started in that business. Just entering documents, entering people's names, addresses. You have to document everything that goes on in that business, every date and time that a server's there, which server it is, what happened. It's just a lot of communication, a lot of juggling, because there's a lot of papers to be served. When I finished my career, I was working for a multi-state company, First Legal, and managing their process department in San Francisco. I had like 600 to 700 papers out in the field under my control at all times. I had a few people in my department that I was in charge of, and it was a lot.
That's a massive amount of people.
It was a lot. So I got paid hourly. That last job was salary, but I certainly worked over that.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I wanted to serve papers in the evenings, I can take whatever I want and
make a little extra from
it. Yeah, it certainly helped, and kind of regret it looking back on it. I missed a lot of first steps at home.
So you had started a family during that time, then?
Yeah.
How was that when you met your wife that you were with?
Well, actually, on the weekends, because those process serving, it was just open during the weekdays, the offices. And weekends, I would fill in. When I was 19, I worked at the nation's oldest and largest reptile, amphibian, and invertebrate retailer and wholesaler. I did that full time, took care of over 150 snakes that were all 7 feet long or longer.
That's pretty interesting.
Bred them, maintained them, sold them. And so later on in life, I would fill in for somebody who wanted a weekend day off, because they didn't give anybody a weekend day off. Mm-hmm. So one day I went to fill in, and who's the new girl? I stole her.
The rest is history.
Yep.
Nice. Did you, so were you always into reptiles or animals in general? Or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've always had some kind of pet. I had a rooster for a while named Buster. Sat on my shoulder like a parrot.
Nice.
He had to go to my dad's friend who had a farm. And then I heard he was chasing dogs.
Roosters can get hungry.
Yes, they can.
Yeah.
And
I'd be kind of scared to let one sit on my shoulder.
he was my buddy.
Yeah. It's freaking awesome. So, but reptiles were your thing, huh?
Yeah, I've had, garter snakes and red-eyed crocodile skinks. I've had turtles and tortoises. I even had a tortoise that we didn't know where he went. Where we lived at the time, it was a townhouse. And in the springtime, our neighbor came over. Is this your tortoise? Somehow this tortoise had gotten out of our garage, into her backyard, dug down and hibernated in her yard.
That's awesome.
And these patios are like 20 feet square. How can you miss it?
Yeah.
We had we found a turtle here. It's been years ago now. But we found a turtle. We were on a mountain drive, and here's this turtle in the middle of the fucking road. And so we picked it up, checked it out. He was cool. He was missing a leg. And so since he's hurt and cool, we had to take him home. And then we were trying to figure out, none of us knew anything about turtles. So we were like, well, what do we feed him and all this stuff? So we started Googling stuff, trying to figure out all the info about this turtle. And first thing that pops up is this picture that's obviously this kind of turtle with a big warning that says, do not remove from the natural habitat.
Yeah.
Was it a western pond turtle?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but huge. Like, that was the number one thing that popped up. Don't take it out of the woods.
Yep.
And so obviously we failed at that. And so then we created like this little environment for it in our front yard, thinking it's a turtle. How's it gonna? It can't climb a wall or whatever. And we were wrong about that. Turns out that he was a really good escape artist.
They're good at climbing.
And so he escaped a couple times. We found him. And then I think we actually ended up losing him completely. We couldn't find him. But he was a cool little guy. Yeah. And
the kids liked it.
Yeah. He was neat.
I remember losing an animal like that. I had it was a Maui Euromastix. It's a lizard, and they're omnivores, primarily vegetarian, but they will eat some bugs. And their tail is spiky, like the whole length of it. And I thought I was really cool and making my own cages and stuff for animals. And I was like, well, this is, a lizard that'll sit on the ground and likes to soak up the sun, sit on his rock, and I can make an open air enclosure.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely forgot about the broken window pane, the missing glass in the bottom of the French doors. I used to live in a Model A garage at my grandma's old house, and it took him one day. He was gone.
He's out.
Never found him.
Yeah. You never know what animals are going to be freaking escape artists, I guess. Yeah. When I was young, my cousin was, he actually started out volunteering at Wildlife Safari in the reptile area, and eventually everybody called him the Snake Man. And he actually ended up going to school for
herpetology.
I think that's what it's called. Mm-hmm. And then he ended up going. I know he went to some other countries to help those places out with their. He ended up being an expert in like pythons and boa constrictors, like really big snakes. I haven't talked to him in years, but last I knew he was still doing something. He moved up to Portland area. I think he was working with Portland Zoo and stuff.
That's cool.
But yeah, so he always had big snakes around. But my mom, and I'm sure my dad was scared of snakes too, but my mom was definitely scared of snakes. So we definitely didn't have any snakes in the house. I remember one time we had a bull snake that was living in our backyard when I was a little kid. And my dad and uncle were trying to get rid of this snake. So they stuck a garden hose way down in the snake hole.
I think I heard this story.
Yeah. And flooded our backyard. I don't know if the snake got away or not. All I know is our backyard was a freaking pond.
Mushy mess. Yeah.
It was a mess. It was hilarious.
I used to have a snake. I carried her around in a big burlap sack. She was 100 pounds, Burmese python. Her name was Fluffy.
Jake the Snake Roberts move, carrying the snake around.
She was cool.
Actually, my nephew and his son, they were out riding longboarding on the bike trail here in Roseburg this last summer.
Yeah.
And found a Burmese python.
Yeah.
Wow.
Must have escaped from someone's house or whatever, but it was on the bike trail.
Wow.
That's
over by the train.
Interesting.
Somebody that raises reptiles here.
Did they take it to that place?
I think so.
I think they took it to that reptile place here in town.
Yeah.
Sure, the jungle.
Wild things or jungle things.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I was like, no, you didn't. He goes, oh, yeah, we did. And he sent me a picture like, holy crap.
That's
Those
pretty
two
amazing.
little idiots, since they were little kids. Yeah. I mean, the minute they're outside, they're turning rocks over. And
so
we would find bugs.
We went up
snakes.
out by Ben Irving, and there are some rattlesnakes out there. So we were pretty adamant, like, don't be knocking rocks over or logs or anything. So what do these little knuckleheads do? They come back. We're worried about snakes. They come back with a coffee can just full of scorpions.
Yeah.
Hey, look what we got. And it's like, holy shit, you guys.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that Oregon even has scorpions.
I found one on my property.
Scorpions, yeah.
Yeah, forest scorpion.
Forest.
We always called them timber scorpions, but they're like clear. Almost clear, usually. You can almost always find them up around South Umpqua Falls.
Definitely nocturnal.
Yeah. You flip over some they like dead logs.
Yeah.
Flip around some dead logs and you'll usually
wood piles.
Yeah.
But
I bet.
Those boys would always come with bull snakes, king snakes, garter snake, you name it. Look what we got now.
Plus they noodled fish.
Yeah.
They noodled fish at Ben Irving. I've never heard of such a thing in my life as Ben Irving being able to noodle a fish. But they did it.
Yeah.
Their little, like, Huckleberry Finn.
Oh, yeah. No fear. No fear at all.
When they came back from longboarding, though, and said they found a python, we all thought they were full of shit.
Like, no way.
So reptiles is how it brought you to your wife, and
spawned my children.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. What brought you to Oregon?
His family.
Yeah.
Yeah. They that, and we were looking for a change. The Bay Area was getting just a bit too crazy for us. You know, we didn't really want to raise our family in an environment where there are people burning out, sideshows, shootings, drugs all over the place, you know, worried about your kids being kidnapped. Like, you never know. It's just, the sky's the limit there.
Totally understandable.
The sky's the limit here too. However,
I was gonna say, it seems like things are catching up with you.
However, the sky isn't so high.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
So it's a much
easier to keep your eye on things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also the day and age has changed a lot. You know, I started riding my bicycle to school on my own in second grade.
Yeah.
And I don't know many parents that would let their kids do that these days.
No.
Well, I think it's against the law now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. There's I live in Hillcrest, and there's these two little boys I see all the time, and they're probably older than I think they are because I'm old, so the older they get, the younger. But I mean, they're probably 10 and 8, give or take a year. But I see them like they walk down to Colony Market and grab stuff, and I see them carrying sodas and stuff. They must live a couple houses away or whatever. I like to see that. I think it gives me hope that maybe someday things will go back to the way they used to be, but kind of doubt it. Me and my little brother, my parents left for work in the morning before we went to school.
Same here.
We got on our bikes and we rode almost 2 miles to school. And we picked up, by the time we got
just
to school,
a gang of kids.
A dozen of us.
Yeah.
And then did the same thing on the way home. But when we got home, there was nobody there till it got dark, till 5:30. So we just had to have our chores done before my dad got home and be home by dark so that we weren't late for dinner. And we were just running amok. That's what we did. So
I lost my keys one time. I was out looking for snakes and frogs and stuff in the field. Totally lost my house keys. I was knocking on the door. My dad comes down. He's like, "Where are your keys?" He was upstairs working on his computer, probably. DOS computer. And I said, "I don't know. I lost them." He says, "Well, better go find them because you're not coming in until you have them." And shut the door and locked the door.
Oh, shit.
I found them. I had a fluorescent orange Stegosaurus keychain. I found them things. It was under the water in this 3 or 4 acre field in the water portion of it, and
nice.
I couldn't believe I found them. But if I did that to my kids in this day and age, I would go to jail.
Yeah,
my kids would call them on me.
How dare you, Dad?
With their phone.
Yes, their phone.
but that stuff made you tougher.
Oh,
Yeah.
I miss those days.
I do too. I wish I could do that to my kids. Make them tough.
You just have to be sneaky. Right?
Sneaky. Yeah.
Oh. So once you came up here, you guys actually started a little reptile store at first, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, we tried following our passion. It was Umpqua Reptiles.
Yeah.
Down on Southeast Stevens, across from Big River Cycle.
No kidding.
And I'd hit that. Smoking Glass was down there. It's back when Charlie used to own that little store.
Yeah.
It's right in
J&J.
the same strip mall as Blake's Carbide Service, the saw blade shop.
Yeah.
It was a dream. Short-lived dream.
Wrong place, wrong time, or what?
Southeast, Roseburg. Not everybody will go there.
No.
I found out.
I lived on Cobb Street for a bit. I know all about it.
Yeah. Can be rough. And population just not quite there. We were doing okay until they did all that retrofit on the Washington Street Bridge. I mean, traffic would just back up to Southgate Market.
Definitely.
People trying to go home in downtown Roseburg, and all my customers went somewhere else.
Yeah, that sucks.
We had just run out of our bubble.
Yeah.
A little security net.
But was it fun while it lasted?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
And you guys still have reptiles, don't you?
We have a few, yeah. I've got a jungle carpet python. We have a couple of redfoot tortoises. I think that's it right now.
I know you're animal lovers. You guys both are involved with Saving Grace. I know you do a bunch of volunteering out there and stuff.
Not so much anymore. I've gotten really busy with real estate.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. And my wife's career there has just excelled, and she's loving it. And so I'll just let her put in a little extra effort for me.
You're like, work harder today, man.
Yeah.
Make me look good. So I know you guys do like you've brought, I've seen you fostering baby kittens, and I know you're a dog lover. And how did you get into that? The guy I bought the business from, Chris, they always have fostered dogs. which
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure end up just being permanent dogs because they've got a lot of dogs.
Well, we had a dog actually stay over the night last night.
Yeah.
And she had just had surgery, an older dog who was not fixed, and owners had to give her up. And my wife just didn't want to see this poor old lady dog in the shelter with a bunch of barking animals.
Is that still through Saving Grace?
Yeah. And
Yeah, they do some pretty cool work. My daughter still volunteers out there. She's always got some kind of a animal from there in their house.
A lot of people involved with that place. I saw they rebranded or whatever. Or changed out. I don't know what all that entails or why they did it, but
adoption center changed to Humane Society.
Yeah.
And it's it represents more of what they're going for.
Gotcha.
You know, they don't want to just be adopting animals. They want to make sure people know they're a humane society.
Sure.
It really is.
I kind of figured it had something to do with maybe federal funding or something. Maybe
it could be
more grants and that kind of stuff for them.
Their name could be more appealing.
Yeah. But either way, it's cool. They do a lot of good work. We've done a lot with them. I've done a couple of different gun raffles that went to them. Yeah, we partnered with them on certain things. What you think you'll ever do anything with reptiles in the future, as far as like stores or anything like that?
You know, bring on the home buyers and the home sellers, because that's going to have to support it.
Yeah.
In this town.
So the only way you'd do it is if you could do it as like a hobby on the side.
I'd totally be
Or
happy to.
hustle, yeah.
I'd be happy to open up a shop. I have a goal of opening up a shop and not running it, not being there every day, but sort of trying to help be a guiding light for it. And, you know, there's something about putting a set of keys in a first-time home buyer's hands.
Yeah.
It just doesn't even compare to putting that ball python in that kid's hands as their first snake. You know, the light in their eyes is so much bigger and brighter and gets my heartstrings.
That's cool. Have you checked out that, I think it's called Jungle Things.
It is, yeah. Yeah, I know, was it Mark and, trying to remember her name. I'm bad with names.
Yeah, me too.
1 and 2 at Jungle Things. That's their names.
My my wife took our grandkids there right after they opened. And she was just raving about it. How cool it was, how awesome they were with the kids.
Interacting with the kids.
Basically on a whole tour and taught them all this stuff and let them hold animals and pet animals. And she said it was pretty amazing the way that they were with the kids.
Let the kids interact.
And my wife told him about the podcast, and I'm supposed to go there and talk to him about maybe coming being on the podcast. I just haven't gotten there yet. So I'll have to do that in the future. But, yeah, my wife was just raving about it, and the kids have been back, I don't know, half a dozen times now. Because, in fact, they were saving money. They had my wife giving them jobs so they could save quarters and dimes and nickels until they had enough money to pay to go back and see it again. And then they have a pet. It's a lizard.
Asian water monitor.
Yeah.
Because I've been there and I know my lizards.
My grandkid's house?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Jungle Things.
No, my grandkids have a lizard.
They don't have a jungle or an Asian water monitor. It's probably like a bearded dragon or something.
I think that might be what it is.
Yeah, I know those two.
He's pretty good size, and I guess he's pretty chill. But he bit one of them in the finger the other day, and she was telling me about it. It was traumatic for her.
Anything with a mouth and teeth. Can't bite.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Obviously. Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure he was provoked.
It happens.
So what are some of your, I mean, you said it's awesome putting a snake in a kid's hands the first time or whatever. And I think most kids, especially little boys,
Fascinated.
they're fascinated by snakes. I
Usually.
think it's just like nature.
Well, most little girls are too. Both my daughters were really into it.
And like I said, our kids were.
Yeah.
We've been fighting with them to quit turning rocks over as long as I can remember.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Stop that.
Well, I've always been worried they're going to find a rattlesnake.
Yeah.
I'd say let him.
Yeah, that would not be well. Yeah.
Just teach him.
Yeah.
They'd probably come back with freaking just holding it. It wouldn't be biting up.
Yeah, that's all.
We'd be like, we'd freak out more than they would. One time, they were finding snakes at my house, and we had an island in our kitchen with a pot rack.
Shit.
And so we had this old aquarium, and my nephew asked if he could use that aquarium to put his snakes in. And I was like, that's fine. Just make sure the lid's on it, because I don't want them getting out. So he puts the aquarium on the island in the middle of the kitchen.
Best spot.
And anyways, I wake up at I was heading to work at 4:30 in the morning. And I walk into the kitchen, and no exaggeration, it looked like snakes on a plane, dude. There's snakes in that pot rack,
they're just hanging.
And the lid was just laying next to the freaking thing. Didn't get put back on. But those snakes all got off, and they were like, "Oh, check this out. We could climb a tree," type thing, because they were all in that pot rack and
gardener snakes and
I was
little
like,
bull snakes.
"Oh my god!" And I go get my nephew. I'm like, "You need to clean this up. Get these snakes out of here before Sarah wakes up, because
it'll be bad.
It's gonna be bad. She's gonna freak out if she sees this."
She didn't. I remember the boys would tease her with lizards.
Yeah. Dude, she was
terrified of lizards.
She's still
blue belly
terrified of
lizards.
lizards.
Yeah. It was funny. They were always chasing her around.
Sophia, my niece, she's got a little bearded dragon, and Sarah's just now getting to where she'll touch that.
Yeah.
But he's pretty chill.
I like bigger lizards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to be able to ride on them?
Yeah, actually,
that would be cool.
Actually, I was able to take care of the largest living specimen of a white-throat monitor and his girlfriend. And he was 6 feet 3 inches long.
Holy moly.
And he was about as big around as you are.
Yeah.
That's like a freaking
dinosaur. Are they Australia or Africa or
Africa?
Yeah.
Then that's the largest monitor. And then he had the temperament of, I don't know if you've heard of a savanna monitor, but those are very docile. Make great pets. They're about 3-4 times the size of a bearded dragon. And they're definitely carnivorous.
You're still right around 2 feet,
3-4.
Yeah.
And I don't remember where I was at. I was at some kind of a zoo or one of those kind of places, and there was 5 or 6 of these big. They were some kind of big monitor, I think. It might have been those Gila monsters.
Gila?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Those are pretty small. They're black with yellow spots.
These were pretty big. I remember they were big.
Yeah.
But and they did not. They had them behind thick ass glass, so I don't think that you know. But they were big, and I remember thinking, "Geez, what would you do with that?" And they're just out there cruising.
I remember
I was a reptile. What's that?
No, go ahead.
I was the reptile whisperer for a while.
Yeah.
There was a guy in high school when I was there. I can't remember. It might have been Jerry Riley, but they had it was about a 4 foot. Body was 4 foot, and then the tail, of course, was at least that long. Iguana. had the black and white tail or striped tail. I remember he got in trouble at school. He brought it to show to the science class, but that thing would whip its tail and like whack somebody and cut them open on their face.
Jeez.
They are nasty.
Yeah.
That's an iguana?
I think, yeah, I'm
Green
pretty
iguana.
There's a video on, gosh, I think it's on YouTube or TikTok. Anyways, she's technically she's a pest control in Florida, but she just posts videos of her cruising around killing freaking iguanas. Like she goes and wipes them out all over the place over there. They're pretty good, actually. Pretty good shot, too. I think she does them all with air rifles.
I just watched the new season of the Swamp People, and they were doing the Burmese and the big snakes round up in the Everglades, and it's just totally amazing how just such a short time that they can just take over. Definitely a predator, eating all the, I guess they gotta eat, whatever, but getting into the gator's nests, eating the eggs, and a lot of the waterfowl.
Yeah.
Those are huge snakes. Like 13 feet or 12 feet.
Yeah.
Just massive.
Are they
Holy
fast?
Shit.
They can be very fast.
Yeah.
Even faster in the water.
They look like they're slow.
Yeah, they do.
It's the one scientist guy or biologist was there saying that just because the ecosystem is such different with the amount of food, they grow so fast.
Temperature is just right.
Kind of interesting.
So, how'd you end up getting into real estate?
Let's see. I was, this was after the reptile shop, after I had closed that down, and after I'd worked at Crystal Creek for a couple of months, figured out that following in my great-grandfather's footsteps wasn't for me. I was volunteering at DHS for my good old TANF money. Just a little bit of some welfare money to help us get by for the moment. And I bumped into Karen Volk, who sold my in-laws their house. And she had actually rented us a house before we were able to get our house situated. And so she kind of knew me and stuff, and I kept in touch with her, but she said, "Hey, you know anybody looking for a receptionist job?" I'm like, maybe me. Think I can do it. So that's where I got my start. And, when I did that for just a hair under 5 years, I was managing her office, their rentals, all of their deal files. And I learned a lot, and they're really, really awesome people. They were great teachers. And just wasn't enough room there for me as an independent, savage realtor.
Savage realtor.
I mean, I think I might have blown them out of the water.
You definitely had the drive, huh?
In terms of my numbers and my drive, yeah.
Good.
So that, obviously, you just kind of stepped up and did your thing.
Yeah, I mean, if there was no place for me there, I had to go somewhere, as I couldn't contain this thing that they built.
Nice. And you're loving it? You like doing that?
I really like doing it, yeah, because I can use a lot of my skills, almost all of them. I know a great deal about, electrical and structural. Plumbing is a piece of cake. Insulation, sheetrock, whatever it is that builds a house. Roofing, I put on my own roofs.
Just a jack of all trades, huh?
Yeah, I can do it all, and so I can pretty much see it all. If there's an issue, I'm on top of it usually before the home inspector. I still recommend to everybody get a home inspection, because you can't bank on my word, because I'm not a licensed home inspector.
Yeah.
Also don't want to be.
Well, also, you don't dump a bunch of money into stuff that you don't need to if you don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, there's other people to help me out with that. Got a good team of people helping me do my stuff, and I work for a great office now. Bob Lamonte is just an amazing
Super nice guy.
boss and partner. Yeah, he really knows his stuff. His night and day change with my business when I went to him.
Awesome. Talking to you in the past, I know that one of the main things that you really enjoy about it is helping people out with finding a home, especially folks that think that they can't buy a home or whatnot. You really enjoy helping those folks out.
Yeah.
What parts of that do you like the best? I mean,
It's just helping people do things they don't think they can. It's making their dream come true that was almost a fantasy for them. You know, dreams you think can come true, but fantasies are more like it's unreal. I just helped a woman, a single retired woman, close escrow and walk into $85,000 of equity just sitting there.
that's awesome.
She got the ball rolling before I met her with NeighborWorks Umpqua grant for down payment assistance. And so that helped out a lot. But then I got her in contract with a sale price that was, $55,000 lower than what the home appraised at.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the answer is no unless you ask. And I'm not afraid to help people ask.
Yeah.
And I know how to do it.
Well, you've had, I know I've talked to you about a couple of listings that you've gotten that you were like, this might be a little tough one. I'm going to have to find just the right buyer. You seem to have sold those super fast. I mean, it's like if somebody puts a little challenge in front of you, you're like, okay,
find a way to do it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Is that something that drives you, or?
It does. But then again, there's a buyer for every property, but sometimes they don't meet. And it's not always up to me.
Yeah.
I can do everything in my wheelhouse, throw out all the stops and do everything I can, and still that buyer doesn't find it. So I've had a few properties, just a couple that haven't sold at all.
Yeah. I'm sure the slam dunks are nice though too.
They are. But it's those hard cases that, I just had to put a few supports in underneath the house to get it to pass a engineering certification. And before the appraiser got there, I went and nailed in some fascia on the roof, up high, and had a little white spray can and sprayed it white, make sure it didn't look like it was chipping. And threw some vapor barrier underneath because they need those too.
Yeah.
Especially FHA. And appraiser comes and looks at it, and this home is great. It comes in at value, no conditions. It would have had them if I hadn't done those things. And so getting those things done and saving the hassle, keeping things smooth and on time, that really, it makes me happy, and I can use the skills I've got.
So have you found that it's real competitive in this area with the different realtors? And
there's a lot of realtors in this area.
Yes, there are a couple of realtors that are pretty good competition for me. But some of those big names out there, that's all they are.
Yeah. Isn't Jacob's grandma, isn't she into realty? And
yeah, I don't think she does it real full time though.
No.
Not anymore.
The odds
I know so many freaking realtors. It's not even funny. But yeah, it's just everybody.
There's really only one.
Then
just you.
Yeah. And I noticed a big upkick in the area in the last probably 10 years is property management companies.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know a couple of years ago when the market was crazy with people selling houses like mad, a lot of those houses were being sold to out-of-state people that were never even going to live in.
Right.
Was that COVID time?
Yeah.
A lot of COVID money rolling around.
Yeah.
That's also when rent kind of went through the roof.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it still hasn't really gone back. So
probably never will.
Probably never will.
Nope.
Yeah. So, during all that, you also got your house and bought some property. And was the whole realty thing what allowed you to get some property, find a good deal? And...
Yeah, put me in the right place at the right time. And the answer is no unless you ask, so I ask.
Yeah.
And one of the other agents in my office had some property coming up that checked every single box and then some, and it is just heaven on earth. And I already owned my home. It's, one of those homes they truck in on two pieces and they bolt them together, and took us 5 days to move that thing the last mile.
Yeah, getting your house set up there ended up being a lot more work than you thought it was going to be, didn't it?
It's the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
I still got dirt under my fingernails from that.
But I've seen some pictures of your place, and it looks like it's a super nice place.
It's amazing.
You definitely got some nice views.
Yeah, just don't smell. Yeah, don't smell. My wife comes home with dogs and cats.
Oh, I gotcha.
Oh my gosh, that's the hardest thing, is keeping the house clean. And
sounds like you need to build an outbuilding for.
Yeah.
That's actually the next project.
Yeah?
After
your own personal little kennel.
For me to live in, yeah.
No.
I wouldn't mind that.
Ah, there you go.
No, I've got the shop, and after I get the wife's office space done upstairs in the shop, it's all about a cat house, because they are moving out.
Yeah, nice. I don't blame you on that.
We have one cat two that are going to stay. My favorite of the two is his name is Cicada, and this is another reason why Saving Grace Humane Society is awesome. Most shelters would put this animal down. It came in, it was born underneath a house somewhere, a little kitten. They finally caught him. His eyes were so full of infection. This cat was going to die. Well, they take the time, put the money and effort into doing surgery, removing the eyes. So I have a blind kitty. He is amazing.
Wow.
I mean, his ears are his eyes.
Oh, definitely.
Should
And
name him Daredevil.
I don't really want him going outside. He's an indoor cat, but just an amazing animal.
That's cool, though. Cat house might be a little crazy, but I don't know. My grandkids would like to check that out, I'm sure. I don't know, Sarah couldn't convince me to do something like that.
Maybe with the dogs. You need 3 more Jaspers.
She's been trying to convince me to build her her own little tiny house.
A Sarah shack.
But then I would probably never see her.
Yeah.
So she'd just be hanging out by herself all the time. So what kind of goals and plans do you have for the future with the whole realty thing and your property and everything else?
It's really just one foot after the next. The property, it's however much time I get to maintain a forest, a 5.5 acre forest. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I sure know how to sharpen my chainsaw.
Keeping the underbrush down
But
yeah, we lived out in the country every winter, at least once or twice during the winter. I would have to pull my chainsaw out just to get in or out of my driveway because trees would fall on it, or limbs or whatnot. Is that nonstop?
I think my neighbors are, they're all elderly and they're all ready to be past that.
Yeah.
And they're all expecting me to keep it a little bit more maintained than
Sure.
that.
Oh, they all share a driveway with you or something?
Yeah, there's about, let's see, six other dwellings on the road. And yeah, tree comes down. I hope they call me because I'm happy to go do it. But I don't think they want to deal with it at all.
Yeah. It's a lot of work. I don't blame them. That's one of the reasons why I'm glad not to be out there anymore. I miss the property. I miss the way it felt living out there, but I do not miss all the maintenance and all the work it was taking me to get it, to keep it looking halfway decent. And, there's just, and it not never ending. I mean, there's always something that needs done. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. But I wouldn't trade that for going back to the city any day.
Yeah. Well, I live in the city. It feels like
you're still kind of rural.
I just don't have a property to maintain.
At least for a couple more months.
Yeah.
Then you'll be in city limits.
Oh, I know where you are.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
That good old urban growth boundary.
Mm-hmm.
I almost bought a piece of property right off of Troost.
Yeah.
And I really should have done it. I knew that urban growth boundary was going to move. I could feel it.
I've been trying to for quite a few years.
Man.
Kicking myself a little bit. 17 acres. And boy, I could have split that thing up. Built some houses. Been just fine. It's going to take a long time for that urban growth boundary to get to where I am. Kind of happy for that.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll ever get out of my house. But.
No, I don't think so. Well, I shouldn't say never.
The closest would be Winston, but that ain't happening.
A lot of farms.
I'll be dead. I'll be dead by then.
Yeah, probably. So you and your wife actually are both also pretty artistic people. You guys like to.
Yeah. You
like to tinker in the shop and weld and do all sorts of projects.
I actually brought a sample.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I've got a sample in my yard, actually. My grandkids love that little dude that you...
This sample's much cooler.
Oh, yeah?
Let me get it here.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. That looks dangerous.
Look at that.
Yeah, this is a very deadly weapon.
Yeah, tempered or not.
Dude, this would fuck your hand up too, though.
You just gotta grab it tight.
Feel that thing, man. Oh, that's crazy. But no, you like to do all sorts of stuff. And I know that one of your things about being a realtor is whenever you close on a house, you like to make a piece of art for your client.
Well,
or at least in most cases. I don't know if that always happens, but
pretty damn cool.
You know, I like to think about Thundercats.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
Thundercats.
Yeah, that does remind me of Thundercats.
Anyway.
Snarf, snarf, snarf.
Yeah, so I like to make metal flowers for all my home buyers and sometimes the sellers if they, are staying local or... I've got a metal flower in Texas, believe it or not. They sold their home and I sold their parents' home and I gave him one because he's a good friend. But no, I lost my shop space right when I was really getting in the swing of that, in the groove of keeping up on my sales versus the number of flowers and free time that I had. And welding and metal art is kind of like my therapy.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than going and sitting down and talking to somebody. I mean, I don't like bearing my soul to really anybody except my welder.
Understand that.
But I've just finally gotten my shop almost to the point where I could like start a run again and
That's cool.
make 10 or 15 of whatever at one time in one go. And so I'm almost back to, I have a lot of catch up to do.
Well, I've seen a few of them that you've done. You do a pretty good job, so I'm impressed. And you made that little, I don't know, this is like a little man or something. Is what he is. He looks like
Centaur.
Yeah. And my grandkids think he's cool as hell. They freaking talk to that thing and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah. So,
I didn't know he was going to get people to talk to. That's really awesome.
Yeah. It's just sitting in one part of the yard, and then we got a Sasquatch in the other part of the yard, and my grandkids are so imaginative anyways. I mean, they're always talking to their toys and everything else. So.
Did you see that flower I gave to our other friend?
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I've seen a few of them that you've done, and you do a really good job.
Yeah, that one I worked hard on that one,
and
especially.
If anyone ever like attacks and you're like stuck out in the yard, you can pull those things out of the yard and just
Really?
because those things are deadly weapons.
Zombie apocalypse, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm going for the flower.
For sure. But your wife also does art. What other kind of art do you do?
That's really about it.
Yeah. You're more about just tinkering with things and building things and fixing things.
Have you ever seen Ren and Stimpy?
A little bit.
You remember It's Log? I make a lot of logs. Those are great toys. But no, my wife does some really pretty stuff, and she's using, death.
Well, it almost looks like what you showed me. Almost looks like that artistic taxidermy.
Kind of,
thing.
yeah.
Very cool, though. I think it's neat.
She likes to mummify things.
Yeah,
Like I said, I might have to get her to make me something for my office, because I think that stuff's cool as hell.
there's good money in it too. Some of the artwork is very high dollar.
I keep telling her she needs to double her prices.
Yeah.
I mean, she really puts some thought and care into these things, and almost giving them away, I think.
Yeah, well, the prices that you were showing me online, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
There's definitely a market for it.
Yeah, so get your order in now before they double.
I don't know. How does that work? Because I think it's against the law to sell taxidermy, so isn't that classified the same as taxidermy?
Well, you can buy an alligator
I don't think it
head online.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it's not then. I thought it was.
You can. She actually, she does buy rabbit heads
Right.
and bugs.
We'll have to keep our eyes up more out in the woods.
Definitely.
We've found lots of little skulls and stuff. We just never.
Oh yeah,
do
we'd
anything with
love
it.
those.
So, but yeah.
We'd love to have them all. You know, the best Mother's Day gift that I ever gave her.
It was a box full of
Dead stuff.
You know, I think it's illegal, but I did find a bobcat on the road.
Yeah.
And it was not mangled or anything. Just it got hit too hard and was dead. And threw that sucker in the trunk. She was just so happy, elated, pure joy, giving her this big dead cat.
No, we're damn.
Does she do anything with like the hide or any of that stuff? Does she know how to do that
Can
stuff? Or
No,
yeah.
no,
that'd be cool though.
it would make some little jackets for those little dolls. But that's real time consuming, and
Yeah, I'm sure.
every bit of it's a lot of work. And she's busy at the shelter saving their lives.
Right.
So if she can make something out of a little bit of the death,
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Yeah, I think it's neat. And like I said, she's very talented. That stuff looked pretty amazing. So
Yep, she made the angel that was on top of our Christmas tree, raccoon doll.
That was pretty cool looking.
yeah,
Definitely.
some people
Expression.
might not appreciate it, but I thought they were
man.
awesome.
Yeah.
So
Well, they don't have to have any of it.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. You don't like it, don't have it.
I'll get him a nice house instead.
There you go. Yeah, that's perfect. And do you guys have any like aspirations to maybe expand on that at all, or is that just her little side hustle because she enjoys doing it?
One day I'd like it if she was able to stop working her hourly gig and maybe help me with my job. Help me with maybe some marketing and follow-up is a horrible area that I have.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. It's not my favorite part of it. I like crawling under houses so much more. Opening doors for people.
Yeah.
Finding the house. Calling people that don't call me back, that don't show real interest is not something I super enjoy.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's it.
I just can't push people into buying a house.
Right.
They've got to really want it. And I like to see that want. It's very important. I can't be holding their hand when they're talking to the lender. Do you have a loan? Here's the phone number. Go get it.
Yeah.
Call me back. I'm waiting.
That's a big part of being a realtor, though, is all the follow-up. And that's a lot involved in that.
Yeah, I probably lost a few for that.
Mm-hmm. You seem like you followed up pretty good on everything I've referred to you or talked to you about.
Well,
I mean, even just casually mentioning things, you give me a call later or stop by and you're like, "Hey, what's going on with this?" So, I mean,
yeah, sometimes
you're better at it than you think you are. Maybe
it's just second nature, and I don't notice how good I am at it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I am so good at it.
Well, I think you do an all right job.
Thank you very much.
So you also have you're a little bit of a gun guy. You like guns a little bit, and I know that you came in and did your concealed handgun license class with us. And, how'd you enjoy that actually?
The class?
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty informative. I thought it was nothing that I didn't already know. I've been shooting guns my whole life, basically since I was about 6 years old. My dad had me sitting on his knee shooting the .22, usually with that banana clip that held, a lot of rounds, or sometimes when he was brave enough to, hope that it didn't jam, that big round clip that held, like 100 or something. Oh, man. It was cool getting to put the bullets in it. And, yeah, I do enjoy shooting. I really do. Kind of ties into bicycles a little bit. I've been hunting on my bicycle before.
Right.
Had
That's
my
awesome.
Winchester Trapper in the back and the saddlebags and
Hell yeah.
riding around the mountains looking for my deer.
That's awesome, actually. We've run into some hunters doing that.
Yep,
We actually
definitely.
talked about it at one time. But yeah.
I'd never do it again unless I had an electric assist motor.
That's what.
Well, I think when we saw them, it was kind of before that.
Yeah.
Before that was around. But, yeah, they're actually at SHOT Show. There's a couple of manufacturers that specialize in hunting bikes.
Yes.
And they even have like trailers that'll haul like. I saw one that has a trailer that's basically a single person tent. It's like a little pop-up trailer that. So I mean, theirs are pretty cool.
I swear by my Extra Cycle.
It's an extra cycle.
That's the brand. And I actually still have my Extra Cycle Free Radical that I don't think you can buy anymore. It's an attachment that will go onto the back of any bicycle. It attaches at the rear dropouts and right behind the bottom bracket at the front of the chain stays. And you move your rear wheel, move your brakes, move your derailleur. You get another chain and you have to make a longer chain. You have to get tandem cables so that they're extra long for the derailleur and the brakes in the back. But it adds more wheelbase length, and it adds more capacity. It makes your bike more stable up and down hills. I've carried 200 pounds of sod in that thing before.
Wow.
Not to mention I don't know how many girlfriends I've taken on rides on that bike, but yeah, my kids, both my daughters, both the girls when they were younger.
That's cool.
They loved that thing.
That's neat.
Yeah.
But we have definitely seen some people that do hunting, but those hunting bikes that they specialize in, those are pretty incredible. The stuff they add on and the features that they have. Definitely something, but I mean they're spendy. You can drop some money.
$5,000, $6,000, $7,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What you said you grew up shooting and whatnot with your dad. Done a little bit of hunting, it sounds like. And what kind of stuff are you into now? And what kind of guns would you like to have, or what are some of your favorite things to shoot?
Oh my! I'd love to have an ultralight with a grenade dropper of some kind. There's a few houses that I'm pretty happy with what I've got.
Yeah.
I've got that Glock that I got from you, and then I've got my Winchester Trapper, and I've got
that a 30-30 or
44.
A 44, okay.
Lever action, bush rifle.
Those are fun to shoot. I like those.
Oh man, it's great. Makes me feel like old timey,
Yeah.
Like I could put on a cowboy hat and make it work.
Picture you with a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
One of those floppy ones.
I need a horse too. Yeah, maybe a floppy one. And
floppy horse.
a floppy horse hat. And then I've got my Smith & Wesson Super Red Hawk. Oh, it's my Dirty Harry gun. I love that thing.
Beautiful.
Never getting rid of that. Dual ported. It's got a scope as long as the gun is. And I remember before my dad gave it to me, that was a special day. But before he had given it to me, we were out in the some wilderness, Mission San Antonio, or it's down in Central California.
Okay.
He was shooting this gun across a valley and pulling out, putting the gun down on the hood of the car, lifting the binoculars and watching for it to hit.
So he was shooting a long ways out there.
Yeah. Yeah. And he took down a deer with it. I have yet to take down a deer. Mostly because I've carved up so many animals, I'm not really looking forward to that part.
Yeah, that's when the work begins.
That's right.
Yeah. And it's all fun and games until you gotta dress that thing.
Nice. Yeah, pistol hunting is a whole different thing. There's not a lot of people actually even attempt it because it's
pretty close to bow hunting.
Yeah. And pistol rounds just don't have that probably is almost the same as far as
bullet placement.
Yeah. You don't hit it just right, you're going to be tracking it forever.
Yeah, he's going uphill.
Yeah. But yeah. But that's cool. So you're more of a traditional guy as far as what you like. I like lever guns, and revolvers are pretty cool. I can't hit anything with a revolver though. Horrible shot with a revolver. I don't know why. Just the mechanics don't work, I guess, for me. But I love lever guns. I love lever rifles. They're awesome. So what else? What do you got going on in the future? What are some things you're looking forward to?
Not having any more kids. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to my business expanding, growing a little bit, maybe getting a hair bit busier as the kids get more self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Knowing more people in town.
How long you been here?
10 years.
Yeah, so that's about the time you start kind of building a network and knowing a few more people. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
We've known each other a couple of years now. I enjoy knowing you.
That's awesome.
I always like when you stop by and say hello. But that's cool. Yeah, your kids are at that age where you have to be like constantly doing stuff for them and hauling them around here and hauling them around there and dealing with everything.
The attitudes.
Yeah.
All while they're yelling at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saying they know better.
That lovely age where they know everything.
Loveless years.
Yeah.
Teenagers.
Yeah, you gotta love it. But like I was telling you at lunch, man, now I look back and I'm like, even the times when they were total assholes, I kind of miss it. So, just because my kids are pretty much gone, and so getting them all together is, I really enjoy it. And then now I got my grandkids to look forward to and hang out with. And they're little crazy people. So
that just sounds crazy.
They're exhausting, dude. They think I'm a jungle gym. Every time they come over, they think I'm a jungle gym. Climbing on my head. They're always trying to sit on my freaking neck or head. Doesn't matter what I'm doing, they're trying to climb up as high as they can get. So, pretty soon they'll be too heavy, though.
Yeah.
So then I'm trying to cool them down
a little at a time.
Yeah.
I had a hard time when my youngest child got too big for me to pick up.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah.
It was kind of depressing.
Now they can put you down, probably.
I don't think that they will ever come.
No. My son's bigger than I am. He'd probably kick my ass if he really wanted to. I don't think he'd ever try, though. So
mine will get there to where he could, but I don't think he ever will try.
Yeah, there's unwritten rules about that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome.
We'll fuck around and find out type thing.
Brought them into the world.
That's right. You can't challenge that.
Heck, number 2 and number 3, I reached in and pulled them out.
Yeah?
That was the
Did you get a discount?
wildest experience. No.
Yeah, they still charge you the same.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Pull them out, cut the cord.
Yeah.
You look at the doctor and go, what are you here for?
Yeah, dang it.
The extra stitch. No, I'm kidding.
That's freaking awesome. So what about you, Mike? You got anything good going on? Nothing.
Looking forward to see what happens, what type of adventures and shit we get for the new year.
Yeah.
It's got to be better than last year. That's all I can say.
You got any resolutions? Anything you're working on this year?
Be nice.
That's a big one for you.
That's about all I can do.
This is my first time meeting you, Mike. What is it that you do for a living?
I'm worked for North River Boats for 21 years in the paint shop. And this last year, our supervisor, my boss for the 21 years, retired just out of the blue. So took over that job. It's kind of eye-opening being a manager. Something I never ever seen myself do, but I'll make it work. Other than that.
How big's your crew?
At the moment right now, I think we have 28 people.
It's pretty big.
Yeah. It was at one time we had about 82 people in the paint department. We're getting back, ups and downs of the market.
You guys do a lot bigger jobs now than you did.
Lots of commercial, government commercial stuff. Tons of job security. I think we got some on the books that are 2007 or 27, so they're a few years out.
Lots of red and white boats.
Yeah, there's a few.
Uh-huh.
What about you, Aaron? You got any resolutions or stuff you're working on this year?
I want to have a wood storage area to keep it all nice and dry that isn't a Harbor Freight carport by next winter.
Yeah.
That'd be really great.
So you can hold on to some of your supplies better?
Hold on to it easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe even have it, this one year I had it, the whole rack, like 2.5 cords worth of wood, just nice and stacked in the shelter and ready to go in July.
Yeah.
That would be really nice.
Yeah. Getting ahead of the game there.
Yeah. But, just,
It's a lot of work, though, putting all that wood together, get it all stacked.
It seems like it's a non-stop.
Yeah.
I used to, actually, I can't say used to, it's still my favorite exercise is
Cutting wood.
cutting wood. Splitting wood and cutting wood, I think it's because it's like high impact exercise, but in a short period, in a short burst. So I can actually handle it, but I enjoy it. It makes me feel good. It makes my shoulders feel good.
I feel old.
Yeah.
My dad just got me a hydraulic log splitter.
Oh, heck yeah.
Well, if you're going to do cords and cords and cords, that's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it.
Well, I'll do the tough stuff with it. Because I like my splitting axe. I got a nice Fiskars.
Dude, those are the best.
It is great. I never thought that a shear company would make
Fiskars makes the best stuff.
Yeah.
All of my stuff is Fiskars. So, I love it.
I wish they'd make these.
They actually all the Gerber axes are made by Fiskars.
Yeah.
Fiskars owns Gerber. So. But yeah. So anything else? That's that's just your thing you want to get done this year.
Just try and keep in touch with the kids.
Yeah.
That's a never-ending struggle. This time that we're living in, that they're growing up in, is very challenging to navigate.
Yeah.
And the screens are horrible. Maybe it's I want them to get off of those a little bit and learn
That's
how to
tough, though.
learn how to live learn how to grow up like I did a little bit more than they do now. Maybe not as much as I did, because that was quite extreme.
Yeah, just more hands-on would be.
It's tough to find something that,
right?
Because you almost have to find a common ground, something that you both can enjoy doing together, to get them to do that, or something they enjoy and they'll do on their own. But it's hard to get them to even try that stuff.
Yeah.
I've been pretty lucky because, we kind of raised our kids spending a lot of time doing the stuff that we do. And so they've all kind of grown to like it. With the exception of, well, I can't even say that. Dominic just doesn't like to do it with us. So
right.
My nephew just doesn't like to do it with us. But he likes the outdoors. They go fishing all the time. He loves fishing. He's the snake wrangler, like I said. And, but he just doesn't like to do it with family.
Yeah.
He likes to go with his buddies. But otherwise, we've been pretty lucky. So, I'm working on, trying to get healthier this year. Working on, trying to drop some weight and, get a little more active. And I would really like to get to where I can start doing some of my hobbies again. Because I've gotten to where you get to where you focus on work and the rest of the time you just want to sleep or hang out and do nothing.
Try to relax.
Because it seems exhausting to do anything else like a hobby. And so I want to try and get back to where I can spend a little bit of time doing some hobbies and enjoying myself. Spend more time doing things that I enjoy instead of things that I feel like I need to do.
You're being forced to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And also that ties into spending more time doing things my wife enjoys. Spending more quality time with my wife and family. But that's the things I'm working on. Otherwise, trying to build the business better, get more customers, more traffic. I kind of think that that'll come a little bit this year anyways, because I think that some of the changes that are going to happen with the economy this year are going to be better.
Hopefully.
I think
everybody's in that cross your finger mode right now.
Well, I know Shane, my buddy, he's over at Lowe's, and he said he's already starting to see more people getting some projects going. And
forecast, yeah.
So, that kind of bodes well for everything, because that means that people are going to start spending some more money and feeling more confident in doing that. So, which works out good for all of us. And
yeah, it sure does.
For our businesses. Although, I don't know. Mike's business spends, I think, more money on government contracts.
They keep us afloat.
Yeah.
Private. There's more private fishery type charter guide services
than Joe Schmo down the road buying a boat.
Yeah, you think guide services here, you think drift boats, stuff like that, but we're doing some good big shit. British Columbia, Alaska, 30 and 40 foot boats. And,
you ever done jet boats?
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
That's what lots of them are.
Yeah.
And then they did some freaking cool, stuff with weapon mounts and stuff like that on.
They actually have contracts with the Navy on force protection boats and whatnot.
They did some freaking badass fire boats they went to Chicago or something, didn't they?
We got one in the shop right now. It's going to San Francisco.
Yeah. Giant freaking
water monitors
on them and stuff. They're pretty neat.
The small block Chevy 5.7 liter motor just to run the water pumps. And it's pretty interesting. It's always something neat. It still holds my interest because it's locally built, and most of the parts and shit are outsourced. But a lot of the electronics, but the actual product itself is locally built. That's cool as hell to me.
That is neat.
Yeah. Well, I hope both of you guys do good with your resolutions.
I think so.
You guys are pretty...
Mine's pretty basic.
Yours are pretty
just to be
realistic.
nicer to people.
Totally attainable goals. I like the way you guys think.
I like how optimistic you are.
Yeah. Well...
The struggle is real.
The struggle's real, and I try and... I'm not trying to jump in and do it all at once. I'm trying to do...
Baby steps, eh?
I'm changing one thing at a time, and then I'll try to add something on, every week or so. Until
that's the way to do it.
All done. For me, I got to make things a habit and make things part of my routine. And once I do that, then I don't even think about it after that. It's part of it. Unless I go on a bender or something and screw it up, and then I got to come back and start over. I'm trying not to do that. So,
yeah.
So far, so good.
Knock on wood, buddy.
Woo-hoo, 3 days in. Yeah.
I'll help you. I'll be
strong like bull.
I'll be your little conscience, yelling in your ear. No, Carlos, no.
Yeah.
Making a big change in life is one of the hardest things that anybody can do.
Oh, yeah.
I remember quitting smoking cigarettes.
Well,
It's been over 6 years now.
Awesome, dude.
Yes.
And that was just so challenging.
Mike cheated.
Yeah.
He quit smoking because he was dying.
I tried to die.
Yeah.
Like literally.
I still chew, but it was hard to quit smoking.
Yeah, I still got the crutch too.
Yeah.
But no more of that superheated smoke.
Yeah.
That's what was killing me.
Yeah. That's good though. That's awesome. See, one thing at a time.
Want to be there for them grandkids.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it, dude. It's a big part of it.
Family.
I got shit to do. Anyways, thank you for coming on the show, dude. Hope you had a good time.
Yeah.
It was fun hanging out with you for the afternoon.
Yeah.
Thanks for lunch.
Now I know a lot more about you than I did before. And I'm really jacked about getting your wife to make me something. Because I'm pretty down with that stuff. That's pretty neat. I really think that's cool.
I've been thinking about getting one of her pieces of art for a raffle prize.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
For our group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty neat stuff, dude. I'm gonna have to rack my brain and come up with something cool. And then get her, see if she can do it. So.
Yeah, like a gerbil head on a He-Man.
No,
something.
yeah.
That's cool.
As long as he's holding a firearm, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be cool. But yeah, no, I appreciate you coming on the show, dude.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you had a good time.
Yeah.
We're pretty chill in here, so we keep things simple.
It's my, I guess, peacetime, for the stressful week. And I get to come hang out with Carlos and meet cool ass people and
Spare time, huh?
yeah, that's exactly.
That's what I do with mine. I create more jobs for myself. That's what I do with my spare time. So much so that I'm planning on having my wife start helping me out a little bit with scheduling and finding guests and stuff. So
yeah,
because it does take up too much of my time. So.
Well, I want my Ford back on the road, so with my spare time, I'll be starting on a timing chain job here real soon.
You told me you were doing that like weeks ago.
Yeah, well, I've been working on the second story in the shop, and I've got stuff all spread out.
Got all kinds of fires going right now.
I don't want to start that job outside.
Yeah, you do need to finish the shop so you can work on the other jobs. So that makes sense.
That truck's a big one, you know. It's a job I haven't done before, and I love learning new stuff. And plus, I've got about 1,000 YouTube diplomas on it.
There you go. Nice.
Right on. Well, I guess I'll let you get back to it, dude.
All right.
Go sell some houses. Thank you again for coming on the show. Hope you had a good time, Mike. It's always fun to have you around.
Oh, thank you. It's awesome meeting you.
You've known me.
Well,
I think he was talking to me, Carlos.
I was, but
It's fun.
we'll go along with it, Carlos. Okay.
All right. You guys got to deal with my humor. Anyways, I guess we'll call it for the week. And until next time, you guys all have a good one.